Windows 8 is Microsoft's latest operating system. However, with such big cosmetic changes under the hood and with such a new user interface, Metro, many computer users are finding it hard to upgrade and are kind of just nervous when it comes to upgrading to Windows 8. Over the Christmas holiday period, sales of Windows laptops dropped 11%. So, with such big changes to Windows 8 that will take a lot of time getting used to, I decided to offer my assistance. Here are the steps for a seamless upgrade to Microsoft Windows 8. The first and foremost step is to make sure that your computer can run Windows 8. Microsoft lists the minimum requirements at a 1 GHz processor. The oldest processor that will run Windows 8 will be an Intel Pentium 4 or an AMD Athlon 64-3000. As Windows 8 requires SSE2, PAX and NE technology, I'd only recommend upgrading to Windows 8 if your computer has at least an Intel Core 2 Duo processor or an AMD Athlon 64X2 processor. There's usually a sticker on your computer that tells you what you have. If you purchased a computer from 2008 and onwards, chances is you can just skip to step 2. Microsoft lists 1 GB in memory for 32-bit Windows and 2 GB for 64-bit Windows. More on that later, but I'd say at the very least, your computer should have at least 2 GB in memory and 4 GB in memory if it's going to run 64-bit. This will ensure you get a good experience from Windows 8 and will be able to handle running programs and watching videos. To run Windows 8, you're going to need at least a 16 GB hard drive for 32-bit and a 20 GB hard drive for 64-bit. Now, if your computer passed the other requirements earlier, chances is you have enough hard drive space. But just check anyway. Go to My Computer, right-click Properties on your hard drive, and it will tell you how much hard drive space you have left. Finally, you'll need a graphics card or an integrated graphics card that supports the Windows Display Driver Model 1.0. If you don't have any idea what sort of computer you're using, go to Microsoft's website and download the Windows 8 Upgrade Advisor. There's going to be a link in the description below. It will tell you if your computer has what it takes to run Windows 8, but keep what I said earlier in mind, as Microsoft is basically going to check if you have the bare essentials. So it's going to check if you can run Windows 8, it's not going to tell you if you can run Windows 8 smoothly and if it's going to give you a good experience. Your second step is to make sure that important software or accessories and peripherals will work in Windows 8, especially if they're important stuff like accounting software, tax software, etc. Gather all your accessories and CDs and go to the Windows 8 Compatibility Center. Enter your products individually and check if they're going to work or not. If you bought additional new hardware for your computer and you're not sure if it's going to work in Windows 8, here's a quick tip. If you bought a wireless card for your computer and it works in Windows Vista or Windows 7, chances is it will work in Windows 8 as they both share the same driver model. If you're clueless to what that is, Windows Vista and Windows 7 share the same DNA, if you will, of Windows 8. If you installed a wireless card in Windows XP and it did not work in Windows Vista or 7, chances is it will not work in Windows 8 because they have different driver models, or in your words, different DNA. The third step is to make sure you purchase the right version of Windows 8. First, check what version of Windows do you own, 32-bit or 64-bit. 64-bit versions run faster, but they require a faster computer. Check the brochure that came with your computer and it should tell you. If it's a computer from 2007 or older, it's probably running 32-bit. Either way, if your computer is currently running 32-bit, you can only upgrade to 32-bit. You cannot jump to 64-bit as that would just not work or make sense. Next thing to find out is what version of Windows do you own. When you turn the computer on, what does it say? XP, Vista or Windows 7? If you're running Windows XP or Vista, you can only upgrade to Windows 7 Professional. That's the only version you can upgrade to. Now if you're running Windows 7, here's how it works. If you own Windows 7 Starter, Windows 7 Home Basic or Windows 7 Home Premium, you can upgrade to normal Windows 8 and Windows 8 Professional if you want more features. If you're running Windows 7 Professional or Windows 7 Ultimate, you can only make the change to Windows 8 Professional. Furthermore, if you're running Windows 7 Professional or Windows 7 Enterprise, you can only upgrade to Windows 8 Enterprise. Now when you go to the computer shop, you're going to see two versions of Windows CDs, upgrades and OEMs. Do not go near OEMs if you already own a computer, as that version is for people who are making their own computers and never had Windows installed before because, they're building it. There's no need to pay more as you won't get any new features or benefits. Only purchase what you need. The fourth step is to back up your data. If you don't have much data, like just a couple of documents and folders, and it comes to less than 2 gigabytes, sign up for a free 2 gigabyte Dropbox account and store them there. Additionally, if you don't have many files, just email them to yourself so you have an additional copy just in case something wrong happens. If you own a lot of data, you're going to have to purchase either a thumb drive or, as you might refer to as, the computer's sticky thingy, or buy yourself an external hard drive. You need to do this because while Windows 8 will upgrade and transfer over your personal files, sometimes complications can happen, and when they do happen, you will lose your personal files, and that just plain old sucks. The easiest way to explain if you're going to need an external hard drive is if you own an iPod and you have a lot of music. If you own more than 16 gigabytes of music, for example, chances is you're going to have to go out and purchase yourself an external hard drive, just in case you don't want to lose that music. Now, if you're legal and you bought your music off of iTunes, then you're okay because you'll be able to restore the music through iTunes purchases. Thank God. Also, before you move to Windows 8, make sure you back up some other essentials like your browser bookmarks, don't forget those, your iTunes library, your digital photos, your digital videos. If it all sounds complicated and you just want to back up everything for a safe measure, buy yourself an external hard drive and download free software called Mac and Reflect. It will essentially make a photocopy of your hard drive and transfer it onto your new external hard drive. Basically, it's just in case something bad happens, or at the very worst, Windows 8 doesn't work at all, you can go back to your old version of Windows that you already have now. External hard drives are getting cheaper and they come in all shapes and sizes. I'd say you'd only need about 500 gigabytes. And finally, at step number 5, the upgrade to Microsoft Windows 8. Luckily enough, it's pretty simple. Pop in a DVD and follow the on-screen instructions. Windows will take care of everything. They will transfer your personal files and programs over to Windows 8. If you're running Windows XP and Vista, it's the same deal. However, they will only transfer over your personal files and not your programs. That is why earlier I told you to gather all your software CDs together, because afterwards you will need to reinstall them, and some of them may not work. And it doesn't matter what sort of computer you own, I still recommend you do this over the weekend, as it can be a lengthy process. Finally, after the install, you may run into some compatibility issues for your software, such as Adobe Photoshop or your favorite computer game. Google the problem online and see if others found a solution. In most cases, it's a simple fix like opening as an administrator or running in Windows XP mode. Now, the biggest change for any computer user is that Windows 8 will look totally different with its Metro UI. Thankfully, Microsoft does have a nice website with video tutorials that will show you how to move yourself around Windows 8 and get used to it, and also learn about its benefits and all of its new features. So finally, after all that, you got Windows 8 running on your computer. You see, it wasn't that hard. I hope you find this upgrade guide useful, and I wish you luck on your own installation. Subscribe, like, and share this video. You can also find more Giga Comedy on Facebook at facebook.com/gigacomedy and on Twitter at twitter.com/gigacomedy, along of course with gigacomedy.com. And you can find me, Lee-Loi Cheng, on Twitter at Lee-Loi Cheng. Thanks so much for watching and stay tuned.